Now, it's time to meet the players of college sports today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, and get this show started. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a first-round NFL draft choice, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. He's a rare two-time SEC Player of the Year and spent over a decade in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Matthews. And presenting the host of the show, with over 25 years of sports broadcasting experience, Terry Norvelle. Coming to you from the future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille, it's time for College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. Presented by the Allen Law Firm.
It is a Monday. It is College Sports Today. So very glad you're joining us here on Facebook Live here, YouTube, or following on the podcast in a little bit. Terry Norvelle, Coach Steve Spurrier is here. Coach, we got a lot to talk about. Another just busy college football Saturday. A lot to go to. Georgia rolling, the Tennessee crowd. Oklahoma State with a big win, but we got to start in Baton Rouge. In Baton Rouge, boy, it was an ugly, really brutal loss for the Gators against a team with now we know a lame duck coach. Coach, you saw it like everybody else. Well, like Florida had a chance to kind of put some distance in the first quarter and didn't take advantage of it. Block punt, great field position, and boy, they couldn't stop the run.
Yeah, Tyrion Davis-Price. I'd never heard of him until the game started. LSU, I think, was the fourth worst rushing team in the country.
Unbelievable.
They hadn't even tried to run, I guess, but all of a sudden they did something and found out that they could block us and give the ball to this kid, Tyrion Davis-Price. And, man, he was sort of just hit a crease, and there he went. And we got blocked. Seemed like we got blocked every play almost. And so forth. So anyway, but we were tied with them, and they hit that fourth down to goal line.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe if they miss that, we go down. Mike could still win the game.
Yeah.
But obviously, Anthony Richardson, man, he looked good. He had a couple bad plays, but those 4 touchdown drives in a row. Coach Mullen's got to make a decision this week, I think, and whatever he decides, I think he's got to sort of stick with it a while and go from there.
Coach, Florida could not stop, what is that, a counter play, I guess it was?
Counter play.
Ran it to the right quite a bit. They went left a little bit, but they found something on the right side. Shane Matthews, who was at the game in Baton Rouge, he said on his show this morning that he thought Grantham tried a few things. I saw Trey Dean come down a little bit. I didn't see the backers do a whole lot of getting in the gap or even just run blitzing. What can you do schematically if that's being run at you? If they block you, they block you. But are there things you can do schematically to at least not just line up the same way every time and get blocked?
Well, when the other team's running it down your throat, I go back to Duke University. We were 1-3 that year. We won the ACC, and we couldn't stop the run. And they were just going right down the field. So what we had to do, we went to goal line defense.
Okay.
You play goal line defense everywhere.
Anywhere on the field,
and
okay.
If you can throw the ball, let's see you throw it. You play man-to-man out on the corners and all that. But we had 8, sometimes 9 guys up near the line of scrimmage to stop the run.
Yeah.
And we forced a few punts that way. And we had a good offense. So, if they broke a 70-yard run – or pass for a touchdown, well,
go back.
Our offense is getting the ball right away.
Go back and get it.
And go from there. But maybe we can force some punts. So, and I remember Coach Ellenson here at Florida. We put in the goal line defense when we were having problems and just say, hey, if you got to pass on, let's see you hit it. But I don't know. Maybe we tried the goal line defense and still couldn't stop them. I'm not sure.
Coach, I watched from the TV. I mean, I wasn't in Baton Rouge. It never looked to me like there were ever 8 Gator defenders in the box. I saw 7. They'd walk Trey Dean walked down 0 a couple times, and I never saw the backers, Florida was going 4-2. I never saw the backers either run blitz or just cheat in the gap and try something different. I think one of the frustrating parts was they ran the counter. Well, they were going down the field and scoring anyway. Take a run blitz and or go 8 in the box. You got to cover one-on-one. You may get beat over the top, but I think Gator Nation got tired of getting beat on the ground. Let them get beat over the top or take your chances, like you said. Very, very frustrating the way it played out. Boy, Gator Nation, if you take the temperature, Gator Nation's hot right now. Gator Nation is real, real hot, and you know, a lot of the disdain is pointed at Todd Grantham. You know, he's taking a lot of fire right now in Gator Nation.
Yeah, the defense did not play that well. I guess a week ago, Alabama, Texas A&M, they all want that defensive coordinator at Alabama to get tossed away.
Yeah, sure.
But he was pretty good against Mississippi State.
Yeah.
So all is forgiven in 1 week at Alabama. Hopefully in 2 weeks, if we can pull a big upset on the Georgia Bulldogs, all will be forgiven about Coach Grantham. So just have to wait and see.
I'll tell you another frustrating thing, and this is kind of salt in the wound for Florida. You know, the previous loss to Kentucky, the word penalty, all the penalties. Do you realize that Florida played a road game Saturday, a penalty-free road game? Florida did not get penalized on the road at Baton Rouge, and you still lost the game.
I read that in the paper, and it also says the first time in school history that we had a road game, maybe even any game, without a penalty. Oh. First time in school history, one of those. So the team that gets the fewest penalties doesn't always win. Yeah. That's the only thing that proved.
Yeah, boy, that is tough. I want to thank a couple people. Obviously, you see these great logos on our screen. Our show is presented by our wonderful title sponsor, Allen Law Firm, Gainesville and Ocala office locations. Contact them. Easy. If you have been in an accident, somebody you know unfortunately might have been in an accident or injured, contact Allen Law Firm by picking up your phone and hitting pound. Yes, pound YES. And also always want to thank Future Home Loans, Robert Lynn and his group. They do a great job. Veteran-owned company. They're very proud of that at Future Home Loans. Coach, we'll hit a couple topics, take a break, and then come and really take a lap around college football. Boy, Georgia just keeps rolling. They're a solid football team. Kentucky's pretty damn good. We know from the Florida game. Kentucky's got a pretty good team, but that Georgia-Kentucky game, Coach, played out the way I thought it would, just like the Auburn game. Just like the Auburn game. Kentucky, nice drive early. They hung around a little bit, but Georgia just methodically squeezed the life out of Kentucky, just like they did Auburn. Georgia's strong in all facets. I mean, offense, defense, special teams. They got a good punter. They got a guy that kicks the ball a long way. Georgia's impressive again. They're just rolling along.
Yeah, they're very impressive. And to beat them, you just got to play better than them some days. And whether or not that's possible, we'll find out in a couple of weeks when we play them over in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jags got to win.
How about that?
Congrats to Coach Urban and the Jags for a big victory, three-pointer. Congrats to that field goal kicker. Man, those guys are valuable in the NFL.
He goes 54 and 53, Coach.
How about that?
Wow. And
they just picked him up, didn't they?
Well, and they were about to let him go because he missed.
Oh, he's the same one?
He missed. He's their second guy now, and he missed the last game. He had a bad game. He missed a bunch, and I think they flipped a coin and had a kickoff during the week, and they said, we'll take him over there. I think they took 2 kickers, as a matter of fact, and they gave the little guy a chance. And how about that one to tie? That thing came back. Did you see the hook? The hook he put on the one to tie, the 54-yarder?
You know, I had to see the replay on
that.
Had
a hell of a hook, Coach. That thing. As a matter of fact, Kevin Harlan, the live shot, as he kicks it, Kevin Harlan says, nope. And it curved in, and they laughed about it. It came back, it hooked right in. Yeah. Then he made, I'll tell you, game balls go out to the Jaguar kicker and the clock operator over there.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. They ran a shotgun snap, 9-yard pass in 4 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know if that can.
He went down and called timeout as soon as he could. Yeah. It was
but I mean, there's 5 seconds when they start. They had 1 second. So you're telling me the ball was snapped, caught, cocked, thrown, covering about 15 yards because he's in the shotgun. Okay.
It was a 9-yard gain. Right?
9-yard gain, about a 16-yard travel, caught, and a human being has to stop in 4 seconds. Tip of the hat to the clock operator. I kidded around, Coach. I said every basketball team in America wants that guy to run the clock coming in basketball season if you're down to the last shot. Yeah. That's a lot to get done in 4 seconds, isn't it, Coach?
Well, it could happen, though. It can. In fact, that was what the Jags were betting on. Did Brian Schottenheimer, somebody said he called that play, or did Bevel?
I don't know who called it. I don't know who called it. The word is, though, they call it there's a word I heard this morning, the radio boys out of Jacksonville, they call it the sliding timeout or something. So they work it. They work it, and they want they want the receiver to slide because
as soon as he gets it.
Yeah, and they're hoping he gets touched too, because NFL you got to be touched. So there's talk that the Dolphins, if they didn't touch him, might have wasted another half second to a second.
Really?
Yeah, but they tell him to slide, to be on the ground, because they want to.
Yeah, get 8-9 yards.
Yeah.
Get down and call timeout.
Yeah.
I think you can get down and call timeout.
Yeah.
I think.
That was part of it. And they say they work it.
Yeah.
They say they work it. Coach, we got, I know we're looking ahead, and we're going to take a quick break and then go all around college football. We'll keep the Florida LSU talk going. Ed Orgeron now out of work. He's going to finish the season. Dan from Dallas says, Coach, we're going to hear this for 2 weeks. Does Florida have a chance next week in Jacksonville? That's one of the questions. I mean, always got a chance.
Always, yeah. I'll tell you what, I've watched teams that were 18, 19-point underdogs win this year.
Yeah.
So Purdue went into Iowa and just clobbered Iowa, number 2 team in the nation. Purdue unranked. Energy, spirit, all kind of stuff like that can do wonders in football.
Yeah. And, Coach, you know that game in Jacksonville, it is littered historically with crazy upsets. That thing has had crazy upsets in the history of Florida, Georgia, over in Jacksonville many a time. Many a time. Let's take a quick break, come back. We'll go all around the world of college football as we've passed the halfway point. Some teams starting to kind of position themselves, some teams playing their way out of it. That was a critical loss for Iowa because of what they have the rest of the way. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. It is a Monday edition of College Sports Today. Stay with us.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of College Sports Today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida, and of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle, simply shoot me an email. tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvelle, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Welcome back to the Future Home Loans Studios inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. Coach has got his own podcast room, and that's where we are at. Remember, Spurrier's Gridiron Grille, open, visors open, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This place is rocking and rolling. Make sure you get over here. Great weather now to get up there at Visors. Oh, Coach, Visors with this weather, my goodness, what a place, and get you some of that great food and great drinks. It's just a fun place. Spurrier's Gridiron Grille here in Celebration Point area of Gainesville. Coach Spurrier's here. I'm Terry Norvelle. It is a Monday edition. I want to thank all the sponsors you saw a moment ago for making this show happen. Coach, we've obviously led off with LSU and Florida. Disappointing loss. You think, obviously the news came out yesterday, Sunday, that Orgeron and LSU have agreed to part ways at the end of the year. You think he had let his team know that a little bit? You think they could have kept that under, and they played inspired football?
I sort of doubt it.
Yeah, okay.
I think if he'd let his players know, one of them would
somebody would have said something, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it happened all after the game,
Yeah.
I believe. And whether or not it's the right thing to do, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what all's happening there. They've had some issues all along the ways, it seems like.
Yeah.
But anyway, is he going to coach the rest of the year?
Yes, he's going to stay on through the season. Yes.
That's what's a little surprising to me. The Raiders won yesterday. Coach John Gruden got let go for whatever, so forth. And they played pretty well. And I think if a coach is going to leave, he should go now. It's just my opinion, but we'll find out.
That LSU job, that's a good job, right?
It's one.
They're the only really college. They're the major college in that state. Yeah, they've got the NFL, but boy, LSU is the college team in that state. There's talent there. They want to win. That's a good job, right?
I think it's one of the best in the country. That's what Nick Saban said. He said it's better than the Alabama job because you can recruit the whole state. You basically own the whole state. Whereas Alabama and Auburn, they sort of split up the players maybe in Alabama and what have you. But, LSU is one of the best jobs in the country, and they think they should win big. Yeah. And they've done pretty well 2 years ago especially.
Yeah, definitely. We want to take about 15 more minutes with Coach Spurrier and lap around the whole world of college football. A lot of stuff happening inside the SEC, other than Florida and LSU. We've talked about Georgia. Boy, the Tennessee-Ole Miss game was fun. We thought it was going to be fun. It was a lot of offense. Matt Corral may be the best player in the country. He's really good at Ole Miss. But then it was marred by the crowd and the situation late in the game. What'd you make of that whole, just an ugly scene in Knoxville?
Yeah, that was ugly. I don't know what to say about it. They thought he made that first down. The referees, they did review it, correct?
Yeah, they said he was short on the field, the call. And then, Coach, I mean, you saw it. I saw it. There just wasn't a video replay that gave you anything that you could overturn it. There just wasn't an angle, so you almost had to stick with it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those calls probably could have gone either way. Yeah. And the fans, some of them there didn't like it, but that action should never happen.
And by the way,
you can boo, but don't throw things on the field.
Well, we're missing the play call and the execution too. It was 4th and 24, and they run some kind of seam or whatever that was, Coach, for 23 3/4. Yeah. Man, I mean, he was that short, but what a call. 4th down and 24, I think it was, and he gets 23 and change.
I tell you, it's amazing how many teams hit those 4th and 20s, but it is possible, that's for sure.
Tough loss for Iowa, number 2 in the nation, and here's what makes it even tougher. Iowa has already played Penn State. That's their marquee game because Iowa doesn't play. The other side of the Big Ten has Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan State. Yep. All 4 of the big boys are really on the other side. Iowa only plays Penn State. They've already played them. They don't play the other 3. So Iowa has no big game to work their way back up. But crushing loss for Iowa, and Purdue beat them from the get-go, and a great comeback win for Oklahoma State. I thought Texas was controlling that game most of the way. Yep. Iowa and Oklahoma State, Coach. I know you saw a lot of those games and the results.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's a lot of teams that are still in the hunt for everything, really, that are some in the Big 12. Oklahoma State,
Undefeated?
They're undefeated, and Baylor's 6-1.
Baylor 6-1.
And I think they'll play Oklahoma State pretty soon here. But Cincinnati's the team now that it's got a great chance to go 12-0 and maybe make the Final Four playoff. They had UCF 35-0 at half.
Beat them up bad, Coach.
They were in good shape. Michigan State undefeated.
Undefeated.
Gosh, they weren't predicted to do much at all this year. And then Wake Forest is still sitting there undefeated. And a shout out to Northwestern.
What'd they do?
Ryan Helinski, a kid
Carolina
that
boy,
went to South Carolina and whatever reason transferred up to Northwestern. They finally gave him a chance to play through for about 270 yards and a couple of touchdowns. They beat Rutgers, and Rutgers is pretty good team. And Northwestern had struggled this year, so that was a good win for Northwestern.
You brought up Baylor and the Big 12, not to say Baylor's not going to be in the mix, but Baylor has one loss, so they're certainly in the mix. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State are both undefeated, and it's starting to get late in the year. They play, obviously, their Bedlam game, that they call it. You know, they play the final regular season game. Coach, what if Oklahoma and Oklahoma State get to the Bedlam game undefeated? Somebody wins, somebody loses. The way the Big 12 works, they could play the following Saturday because the Big 12 is not in divisions. They take the two best teams.
I think Memphis and UCF did that a while back.
Ago.
We did that in the USFL.
Did you?
Yeah, we had to go to the Birmingham Stallions the last game of the season. So we went up there and beat them the last game of the season, but we were both already in the playoffs. And then we had to go back up there. We were 14-4, but they were 15-3.
Yeah.
And they got us in the playoff game up there in Legion Field in Birmingham. So it can happen. NFL, I think it happens every now and then.
Yeah, sure it does.
Last game of the season. Then
but could you? That would be strange. That would be Oklahoma State. They play their rivalry game, final game of the regular season. They could play 7 days later for all the marbles.
Yeah.
For all the marbles. And if that happened, if 12-0 plays 12-0, somebody wins, somebody loses. 12-1 plays 12-1. If the other team won the 7 days later, they'd be the champion of the conference.
Yeah.
They'd both be sitting there 12-1, screaming they want a spot in the playoff. 12-1, 12-1. Interesting. Could happen.
screaming.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams screaming, I want in, but it's up to that committee and so forth.
We mentioned the Big Ten a little bit. The power in the Big Ten is in the East. You've got Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State, and Ohio State. Coach, those four teams really haven't played each other yet. So we've got a 6-week run where these four teams are going to play a round robin. October 30th, all four play each other in 2 games. And then November 27th, Penn State, Michigan State, Ohio State, and Michigan all are going to play each other. Those four teams are going to play each other over the next 6 weeks. It's going to be a little tournament right there. Ohio State's a quiet, sneaky team. They're getting better. They're getting better on defense, and they've got plenty of offense. Keep an eye on the Buckeyes.
Yeah, they've turned the corner, I think, for their season after the loss to Oregon. So they're right there. Yeah, they're right there. And Iowa still can win their side of the division. And
now Purdue has the tiebreaker with Iowa, though, because Purdue's in that side, and they just knocked Iowa off. I think Purdue's only got they've got tiebreaker.
One loss?
They've got the tiebreaker on them.
Okay.
But now Ohio State could go out and lose 2 or 3 more games. I get that, but I'm telling you, their Achilles heel early was defense. They were young on defense, a bunch of 5-stars, but they were all young. They got plenty of offense, and that running back Henderson is a special running back, and that little quarterback's figuring it out. Ohio State's going to score points. They're one to keep an eye on because they lost that early season game, Coach, and everybody kind of moved them to the side. And you know what? They're getting better. They're getting better. I have not, honesty compels me, I just haven't seen Michigan play that much this year. I haven't seen them, or Michigan State much. I know they're both undefeated. I just haven't seen them play.
They haven't been on TV much. No, you're right. But, I like how the Big 12 does it. They all play each other.
Sure they do.
And so that's about, 10 or 11 conference games.
Yeah, 11.
And so they all play a tough schedule because they play each other. And it could... It could come down 3 teams qualified to play at the end.
Woo.
I don't know what to do there.
I'll tell you.
He beat him, beat him.
I think they just go by the rankings because I think they go by the top 2 ranked teams because they're not in divisions in the Big 12.
That's right.
So I think you better win and win big if you can. You might need to. It may be a beauty contest with the voters.
Win big.
Yeah,
that's when that kicks in. Yeah.
Coach, Ole Miss, the controversy with the fans at Tennessee. Ole Miss only lost one football game. I know they've got the bulk of their schedule. They still got LSU and A&M and Auburn. They've already played Alabama. Ole Miss has only lost one. You know who had a nice bounce-back win Saturday? And me, you, and Shane, we all missed this game. Auburn. Auburn went on the road, and that was a nice bounce-back win over Arkansas for Auburn.
Yeah, Arkansas, their quarterback got sacked in the end zone and fumbled, I think.
That hurt.
Turned that game around. Yeah, but good win for Auburn. And Arkansas playing tough, but it's tough out there. You know, it's hard. All these teams are pretty good, pretty even, and it's hard to win them all.
Yeah, it really is. I'll tell you another team. They've lost too many games because the season, because of an injury, got really derailed. But I'll tell you another team that is playing really good football right now. And if there was a 12-team playoff, if Texas A&M got in a play, Texas A&M, the quarterback's figured it out a little bit. He's not, Calzada got thrown in because of the injury. The quarterback at A&M, he was all wide-eyed. He's figured it out a little bit. A&M's caught their breath. A&M's playing good football right now. Now, they've got a couple losses already, and they lost their quarterback, which really derailed their season. Texas A&M's playing good football right now. They really are.
They are, and they've got a couple of losses. I don't know how they're going to. They hope Alabama will lose another one.
Yeah.
And maybe they can sneak into the championship game.
I wouldn't. A 12-team playoff, I think they're getting better every week. If there was 12 teams and A&M snuck in there with 2 losses, they're playing good. All those, boy, they got a lot of offense now. This quarterback's figured it out a little bit. They are real good. Coach, Florida State was off. The Noles look for a 3-game winning streak this coming Saturday. They'll play UMass and get that. Miami, another loss. Miami on the road. Kind of made a run at North Carolina in the second half. I thought Carolina dominated early. Miami loses on the road at North Carolina. Carolina needed that win, by the way. Miami now 2-4, Coach. 2-4, and it's just not looking good for the Canes right now.
Yeah, they're down a bit, and FSU has made a little turnaround.
Yeah.
So one team's up, one's heading the other direction.
Yeah. Coach, as long as you played the great game of college football, as long as you coached the great game of college football, you've been in situations in the past where tough loss at any of your programs with a week before the next game week. How do you handle that coming out of a tough loss this first week? You know, the media and the social and the people are not happy. How does Florida handle this? How does Dan Mullen handle this first week before you even get into your next game week?
Well, what we did, we had more than one goal. In other words, we always wanted to win the division first, win the SEC, because we had teams capable. And even those, let's see, we went to division play in '92, so we did not win it only 2 or 3 times out of those 9 years. But anyway, so then you go to trying to finish in the top 10 in the nation and winning the bowl game and trying to beat FSU, which they were always top 4 or 5 in the nation for 11 of the 12 years that we were here. So that was always a huge goal to try to beat them. And we didn't do it as many times as they beat us, but we did do it in the Sugar Bowl that year, which was the most important one. So you just say, we still got goals out there. Now we're going after them. Teams nowadays don't do it like that, though. Winning the bowl game, trying to finish in the top 10, man, I think I'm opting out of this. I might get hurt or something like that. So it's a different day of college football than what we did as far as, trying to play for your university. Hey, I love my school. I'm going to be a Florida graduate the rest of my life. Let's go out a winner, things of that nature. But you don't hear that much anymore.
Coach, before we get you out of here, we'll take one more break. I'll come back and wrap it up. Coach, certainly from the performance in Baton Rouge, is this Anthony Richardson's team to run out?
Well, that's up to the coaches. He was very impressive, those 4 drives. And, the last pick, he just sort of threw a little late, this, that, and the other. But he was very impressive. But that's, Coach Mullen's got to make that call. And we probably won't find out till next Friday sometime. A week from Friday.
Going into next Saturday.
Or Saturday.
Barry, before we get you out of here, Coach, Barry kind of just asked the question that you answered. He was asking, Coach, how do you motivate a team like Florida right now? And as you were saying, you probably can't motivate them with the goals, as you said, if you haven't put them in place a long time ago, right? You can't go in this way, right? You probably needed to put them in preseason, right? Those and have multiple goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Multiple. You can't really go in today and go, hey, here's our new goals, guys.
Yeah, one time I asked the Notre Dame coach, Coach Kelly up there, I said, if you guys lose one or two, what do you tell them? Because your only goal can be national championship.
Yeah.
They're not in the conference.
Sure.
Beat Southern Cal,
Good
maybe
point.
the last game. I said, what's your next goal? Do you win the bowl game, try to finish top 10 or what have you? But anyway, I think it's important to have more than one or two goals.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you can't hit them all, but sometimes you can. So it's good to have them.
But boy, you make a good point.
Pushing.
We are in a society now. It's win it all or bust. Win it all, win it all, win it all. That just seems like that permeates our society now. And boy, it's tough when you lose one or two. What do you fall back on?
Yeah, salvage the best season you possibly can. That's what our guys tried to do.
I'll tell you another thing.
That's when you need good senior leadership.
Sure.
Guys who've been here and so forth. And obviously, really all of our teams had really excellent leadership.
Sure. All right, Coach, we'll let you get out of here. We'll take a break, come back. I'll wrap up the show. This is a Monday edition. We'll be back on Friday with our picks and looking at we'll be going into week 8. Man, it goes by fast, Coach. Thank you for your time. That is Coach Steve Spurrier. We'll do it again on Friday. Stay with us. I'll wrap up the Monday edition when we come back.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvelle, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Boy, good stuff as always from the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. We appreciate it. Hey, if you're new to the show, we do it Mondays and Fridays, 11 a.m. live. You can always catch the archive on Facebook Live. Also, for you folks listening on podcast, number one, thank you very much. We're on all the leading podcast platforms. Obviously, you listen after the show, but if you guys enjoy the show and consume the show via the podcast, don't forget now, follow College Sports Today on Facebook, and you can catch the TV version basically as well when it works into your schedule. But we also always want to thank our podcast friends. Also, our sponsors that make the show possible. Our title sponsor, we're very proud to be associated with the Allen Law Firm, ALLEN. That is important if you want to check out their website. Check them out, ALLEN, allenlaw.com. They also have the virtual consultation right off there, or if you want to talk to the experts over at Allen Law Firm, it is so easy. Pick up your phone, pound YES, pound YES, get you through to the Allen Law Firm offices in Gainesville and Ocala, and serving clients all over the state of Florida. Also want to thank Robert Lynn, Scott, and the gang over at Future Home Loans, where we broadcast from the Future Home Loans Studios. Proud to be associated with those good folks. If you're in the market for a home or a refi, anything to do with home financing, you can't go wrong. They are in all the southern states, basically. They've grown exponentially over the last 4 years. One of the leading, biggest mortgage lending companies around. Future Home Loans. You see the rest of our great sponsors. Vida de Luis, the official tequila of College Sports Today, available right here inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille, Safe Harbor Seafood, 2 great locations, Crescent Beach, and of course the original with the Marketplace in Mayport. They are the sponsors of our picks contest. I told you about Future Home Loans, Allen Law Firm, and J.B. Coxwell Contracting. For all your site work in North Florida, South Georgia, you can't go wrong. Contact the good folks at J.B. Coxwell Contracting. That'll get you through right to them. Thanks to all of our great sponsors. Wrapping up a couple topics. Certainly, we've talked Florida, LSU with Coach Spurrier. He was as befuddled as everybody. Play after play, same play LSU ran, and Florida just could not stop it. The seat is hot. Dan Mullen is not going to get fired this year, but the seat is now hot. The numbers just don't lie. I would just about imagine, this is just Terry, no inside information, but Coach Mullen has to make a move with Todd Grantham. I mean, Florida cannot do nothing. If you do nothing in the offseason, that says, well, okay, we don't think there was an issue. Certainly, you cannot do nothing. I think Todd Grantham must be relieved of his duties, and Florida needs to just see if somebody else can run the defense with better results. Last year, I know people talked about the pandemic. Last year, the defensive numbers were horrifically bad, historically bad, and then we've seen some of the numbers this year have been good, but I don't know if Gator Nation, I don't know if you've ever really felt comfortable that Florida's defense really was going to go win a game or keep you in a game or give you a chance to offensively win a game. Maybe the Alabama shutdown here and there, but I think the numbers have been a little misleading. I don't think Florida's been as good as some of the numbers. I think you can read between the lines there. The coach was talking about the bowl game, and we're putting the cart before the horse because bowls are way down the road. But, you know, the bowl games have really lost their luster with the opt-out. Players just don't think they're that important anymore, particularly if you're 7-5, 8-4, going to a lesser bowl. Remember, I think the bowl games are going to have more of a problem as we go because of the NIL. This will be the first bowl season with NIL. Can you imagine? You're a kid, you're a player on a 7-5, 8-4 team going to the Belk Bowl, for instance. You've put a little bit of jingle-jangle money in your pocket, okay, with an NIL deal. Your team's 7-5. You've given away the last 17 weeks of your life, right? Early August, you started practice. All your time is gone. All of a sudden, do you think you're going to really hang around and be part? If you're done playing college football, your eligibility is gone. You're going out early to the NFL. Are you going to hang around 8-4, 7-5 team for a whole month, another month, while the bowl game is played? It's going to be real interesting. I think we're going to have so many opt-outs and NIL opt-outs. I'll tell you, the life of the bowl games, if you're not a meaningful bowl, I think they're going to have to find a different way to keep those games playable, really. Somebody mentioned, and I think it might be a good idea. I'm not so sure if I was a bowl game, I might not sponsor and plaster my bowl name all over some of these first of the season games. I mean, I know that sounds nuts, but we have all these great matchups played early, I'm not so sure I wouldn't call that September 3rd game the Orange Bowl. I'm just saying. I don't know. The bowl games are having trouble. Also, way down the road, but don't look now. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think most Gator fans and most Seminole fans would have said, that Florida State game, ooh, that's going to be just a throw-in. Florida's going to murder them. Right now, all of a sudden, Florida State might be a relevant game. I mean, FSU's getting better week after week. Florida's scuffling around. I know there's a lot of games, including Florida-Georgia before Florida State, but man, I wouldn't have thought that 3 weeks ago that I would even be uttering the fact that, gosh dang, Florida State might be a fairly competitive game when they finally get together late in the season. But we have plenty of time to get to that. That will, though, wrap up our visit today here on College Sports Day. Thank you for watching, and the folks on the podcast for consuming it that way. Thanks to all of our sponsors, of course. They make it happen. You see two of the big ones right there, the Allen Law Firm and Future Home Loans there on the screen. Thanks to Evan Miller, our producer, as always, making the show happen. We'll do it again Friday, our Safe Harbor Seafood picks. By the way, 6-4 for Terry, 6-4 for Shane. Coach had a 4-6. I didn't bring it up because I didn't want to tell him he was under 500. But Coach had a little tough week. We had 10 games. So 6-4, 6-4. Coach was 4-6. Shane and I, we have been locked in a duel here, a tie for about 3 weeks. Shane and I both have 47 correct on the season. And Coach is 5 back at 42, if you're keeping track. And yes, we do keep track. That'll wrap it up. We'll get back together on Friday, 11 a.m., for the next edition of College Sports Today.